What's up, guys? Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Hope everybody had a beautiful weekend. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's get rocking and rolling on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Before we get started, you guys, please take a moment, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Help your boy out, get the 3,000 subscribers. Would really appreciate it. There's a few things that I want to talk about today, you guys. First and foremost, you got the Miami Heat back in action tonight. The Miami Heat take on the Milwaukee Bucks. It's an in-season tournament game. I know a lot of us don't really care about that. This is more about Miami getting that dub. We didn't really have a great weekend. You lose back-to-back against New York and Brooklyn. The one against New York, that was a huge heartbreak. But I think Miami can turn it around tonight. Now, before we talk about tonight's game, just want to give you guys an update. It looks like Tyler Herro will not play tonight's game. A report came out earlier by Ira Winderman that stated that it looks like Tyler Herro is going to miss another week. Makes a lot of sense. You know, with Tyler Herro's ankle injury, you guys, an ankle injury ain't something you want to mess with. Especially that he's one of our premier players. You want to make sure that he's 100%. And when I say 100%, I mean 100% coming back. So I think we're good enough to beat Milwaukee tonight. I know it's going to be tough. I know we lost to them the last game. But look for Miami to get some revenge tonight, you guys. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, they've had enough time off. They've had 3 days to rest. I fully expect everyone to be playing tonight. This is going to be one of those dogfight games, I feel like. Miami's got something to prove. They want to prove that they really are the top of the East. And you know what's funny, you guys, because when I last posted the video, the Miami Heat were on the 7th seed. This is how crazy the Eastern Conference is. The Heat haven't played a game in 2 days. Have not played one game. And they went from the 7th seed to the 5th seed today. That's just because the Pacers and the Knicks, they lost their game. So that's how close this Eastern Conference is. Miami's only 3 games down from the 1st seed. So we still have a lot of time to do some damage. It's like I've said in the past, you guys, Miami's a top 4 team in the East. The one that's been the biggest surprise is the Orlando Magic. Orlando's sitting at a 12-5 record. You guys can say what you want about Boston. You can say what you want about Philly. You can say what you want about Milwaukee and Miami. But the fact that Orlando is 12-5 sitting with these top 4 teams, that's the shocker of the season. Orlando usually does stuff like this. They have a good start, but then they just tank or they just suck afterwards. It's not happening this season, so shout out to Orlando. But going back to Miami versus Milwaukee, you guys, how do you beat the Milwaukee Bucks with this team? It's all surrounding Bam Adebayo's defense. If Bam Adebayo sticks with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we've known that because that's what he does. He's one of the best Antetokounmpo stoppers in the NBA. You get Bam on Giannis, I think he can do some damage. Damian Lillard, that's going to be the tricky one. We don't have Haywood Highsmith playing today. I know that if Highsmith was playing, that's who he would be defending, Damian Lillard. The fact that we don't have him, you guys, I don't think it's the best idea starting Kyle Lowry. I would prefer if Caleb Martin were to start. But that might be what happens. Haywood Highsmith is not going to play today, so I fully expect either Caleb Martin or Jaime Jaquez to start at the 4. Look at one of those guys to start and defend Damian Lillard. If you ask me who I prefer, Caleb Martin, simply because of the defense. We're going to be undersized defending Brook Lopez and Giannis with Jimmy Butler and Bam, but we've done it before. We've done it in the playoffs. I'm fully confident in this Heat team. Duncan Robinson is going to be the key tonight. We need Duncan to hit shots. If Duncan Robinson is playing the way that he's been playing against Milwaukee, it's going to be tough for them to beat us. And if everybody just falls to their role, does what they continue to do, I don't see why Miami can't win this game. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about, you guys, and I'm sure this is the reason why a lot of you clicked on this video. I noticed something over the weekend, and I've been thinking for the last 2 days, what can the Miami Heat do to really upgrade this roster? What can they do that not only helps them contend, but is a home run hit? I noticed something over the weekend, and a lot of people are going to call me crazy, and no, this is not clickbait. This is not something that's a rumor. This is not something that's currently going on, but this is something that I'm noticing. And remember, like I mentioned in the last video, December 15th, you guys, is a big day. because that's when contracts can be traded. That's when players that were signed to new teams can be traded. So right now, the NBA is just feeling out their players, seeing what they have. And then after December 15th, before the trade deadline in February, that's when you're going to see teams talk. One guy I'm noticing that is super frustrated and would be perfect with this Miami Heat team is Marcus Smart from the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, I know Boston fans are probably going to crucify me. How can you say that Marcus Smart would be in the Miami Heat? And I'm sure a lot of you will go, that's BS. Is there any current rumors about that? No. But if you guys noticed one of the last games that the Grizzlies had, Marcus Smart was going off on these players, yelling at them. And then after the game, he calls out these players for basically just not hustling, not doing the stuff that they need to win. Marcus Smart is incredibly frustrated with the Memphis Grizzlies. He's having a pretty decent season. In 11 games, he's averaging 12.5 points a game, 5 assists, 2.5 rebounds, 2 steals a game. Marcus Smart embodies Miami Heat culture. I said this all the time when the Heat were playing the Celtics in the playoffs. Marcus Smart was the heart of that team. And I'll be honest, after Boston traded Marcus Smart, I thought it was a huge mistake. Turns out it wasn't. Boston made an awesome move because they got Drew Holiday on that team. But if you guys remember, when they first traded Marcus Smart for Porzingis, I thought it was a terrible idea. And if they never traded for Drew Holiday, I think it would have been a bad idea. But because Boston has Drew Holiday out there with Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Porzingis, that's why it works. Drew Holiday's not getting enough credit as he should be. But back to the Heat. You got Marcus Smart, who's incredibly frustrated. Ja Morant's not coming back into the second half of the season, you guys, and the Grizzlies are trash this year. So you're telling Marcus Smart that this is just a wasted year. Marcus Smart is not that type of player. Marcus Smart wants to win. And if I'm the Miami Heat, if I'm Pat Riley, I'm going to be calling Memphis after December 15 and to find out what it would take to trade for Marcus Smart. Because you guys, if you put Marcus Smart on this roster with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and I don't give a damn who you put in the starting four. You can put Highsmith, you can put Love, you can put Martin. That's going to be a dangerous defensive team, especially if you have Haywood Highsmith out there. Can you imagine Marcus Smart, Haywood Highsmith, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo out there together defensively with a baller like Tyler Hero on the offensive end? That is going to be the scariest defensive team in the NBA. Now, is there rumors? Is there speculation? No, not at all. This is all me thinking for the last 2 days. What would be beneficial for this Miami Heat team? Who could we trade for? We've had these fantasies of Joel Embiid. We thought about Damian Lillard, who we lost out on. We didn't get Bradley Beal. We haven't gotten a lot of players, but that's because I believe the Miami Heat are just trying to hit home runs with whales. We need to stop that. We've noticed with this team with a 10-7 record, one of the top teams in the East moving forward, we have enough star power with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero. I've said this before in previous videos, you guys. The Miami Heat does not need to trade for a whale. We need to make a trade similar to what we did in 2020 when we traded Justice Winslow and Dion Waiters, and we got Solomon Hill, Andre Iguodala, and Jay Crowder. 2 of those guys actually end up being great pieces for the Miami Heat. That's a trade that the Heat needs to do. You need to find a trade where you do not have to include Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and possibly Duncan Robinson. If you can make a trade like that and bring a guy like Marcus Smart, that's a home run hit for the Miami Heat. We don't need to be trading for a whale. That's it. The Damian Lillard ship has sailed. It is time to improve this current roster and to try to win now. Now, Marcus Smart is making $18 million this season. So how do you make a trade like that work? It's going to be a few options. If you want to do a straight up trade, you have Duncan Robinson. I don't want to trade Duncan. I think Duncan is perfect in this Miami Heat system. So what else can the Miami Heat do? Well, I've said this before. Memphis may not want to do it. These are all ideas for me. But Kyle Lowry has an expiring contract. That's beautiful for the Memphis Grizzlies because now You can get Smart out of there. You can trade for Kyle Lowry. His contract expires next season. When Ja Morant comes back to the team in the second half of the season, he'll have Kyle Lowry with him, helping him out mentally move forward. Memphis Grizzlies can trade Lowry. They can buy him out. We know all this stuff. But here's why it's going to be difficult to trade for Marcus Smart, because Memphis gave up 2 first-round draft picks to get Smart. So they're going to have to get something similar in return. So if I'm the Miami Heat, I am trying to comprise a package of Kyle Lowry, Nikola Jovic, and 2 to 3 future first-round draft picks. Is it crazy? Yes. But if you bring Marcus Smart to this team this season, he will help you win. And Marcus Smart has 3 years left on his contract. That is the perfect window for Jimmy Butler in this championship run. You bring Marcus Smart to this Miami Heat team, you guys, in the next 3 years, I guarantee the Miami Heat's going to have a real possibility of winning 1 to 2 championships. Just because of the intensity, the hustle, and the things that do not show up in the box score that Marcus Smart does. You bring Marcus Smart to this team, it is the answer. Now, what's the chances of something like that happening? I'll be honest with you guys, low. It'll be anywhere from 10 to 15%. That I believe this trade can happen, simply because of what Memphis had to give up to get him. And also the fact, you guys, Memphis may be looking at their team thinking, Ja Morant's out half of the year. Steven Adams is done for the season. We're going to come back next year and we're going to go hard. You know, they had a really good run last year. I'm sure that's where they're going to try to sell Marcus Smart on. But if we know Marcus Smart, we know that he's a guy that doesn't really have a lot of patience, especially with a brand new team. If this was Boston, it may be something different, but he's in a brand new squad and they suck. So if Marcus Smart requests a trade, look at the Miami Heat of being one of the biggest suitors. Now, I'll say this again, you guys. This is not a report. This is not a rumor. This is not clickbait. This is an idea that I had the last 2 days thinking on what can the Miami Heat do to improve this roster. So now I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think a trade for Marcus Smart would be something that this team should do? Or do you think that what we have is good enough? And if you think we should trade for Marcus Smart, what trade package do you think would be likely? I think that if you take Marcus Smart and another throwaway player, trade them for Kyle Lowry, give them Nikola Jovic, who they can build on for the future, plus multiple first-round draft picks, you can get it done. Nikola Jovic, this doesn't seem to be working in this system. You saw him complain about it a little bit. He redacted that, but it just doesn't seem to be working simply because of his defensive prowess. He doesn't have it. So if you put Nikola Jovic with the Memphis Grizzlies, who's tanking this season, he can get the playing time that he needs and evolve and grow. He's not going to get it with the Heat, you guys. We're trying to win. The last thing we need to do is put Nikola Jovic out there to hurt us defensively. So I really want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think about the game tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks? What's the chances you feel the Miami Heat can win this game? Don't forget, you guys, to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Would really appreciate the love and support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said. Let's go, Heat.